How is it going, everybody? This is Sean Barnes. I want to welcome you to the Way of the Wolf. I am near Sedona, Arizona right now. And specifically, I am at a place called the Birthing Cave. I came up here a couple of days ago, spent a little bit of time hiking and biking, found a pretty nice location, and I'll get some footage so that you can kind of see what I'm looking at from right here, but quite a stunning view. And as I think through these hikes and climbs and things that I've been doing, I started reflecting about leading up and how that is probably one of the most challenging aspects of leadership, especially when you've got a boss that is an asshole. And I'm thinking back to one of my bosses in particular. This was over a decade ago, but man, it didn't matter what I did, it was never good enough. Nothing was ever good enough. He would rip me to shreds in front of my peers, people on my team. It was the craziest thing. Actually, now that I think about it, I've had a couple of bosses like that in my career. And as frustrating as that is, thinking back on it, there were still opportunities there. And when I say opportunities, I'm talking more specifically about the ability to watch and learn what not to do. I definitely learned a lot about what not to do, having those guys as my bosses. I had another boss in recent years that, he was completely incompetent, just a mess. Had no clue what he was doing, put into a position well above his capability, and would just ignore everything I said. And that was really challenging as well. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about things that you can focus on when you're struggling with leading up. First and foremost, I want to stress the importance of patience. You have to be patient because that asshole of a boss, that incompetent boss, at some point is no longer going to be a part of your life. At some point, they are no longer going to haunt your dreams and be a pain in your ass. So learning to be patient is one aspect that I want all of you to start focusing on and taking to heart. You want to think about how can I move through this situation, as frustrating as it is, and come out the other side in a better position? What can I learn from this situation? In order to do that, you also have to check your ego. As leaders, especially as we progress, or if we're really good at what we do, we have a tendency to start taking pride in ourselves and being proud of the things that we're accomplishing, which is great. That's fantastic. But you want to make sure that that pride does not bleed over into ego, because that's not going to serve anybody well. It's not going to help you get the things that you need done. It's not going to help you get things that you need done for your team. You're likely just going to end up butting heads with that manager, and it's not going to end well. The third thing is probably going to trip some of you up, but I want you to start focusing on making them look good. Yeah, I said that. As ridiculous as it sounds, as frustrating as it is, you want to try to make them look good. When you do this, you start building trust. You start getting on their good side. And while you might not get the exposure or visibility for projects that you've completed, in the grand scheme of things, you're still learning, you're still growing. And if you're making them look good, that's going to help you down the road. That's going to help your team down the road. And as strong leaders, that's what we want to focus on. We want to focus on getting the things that we need done to support the business, getting the things you need done to support your team. Those are the areas that you need to focus on. And you can do that by building a stronger relationship with your boss and making them look good. Another thing that I want you to focus on is trying to get exposure to other leaders in the business. If you have a boss that is completely incompetent or just a straight up asshole, there's a good chance that other people in the business also know what's going on. So when you start thinking through how to navigate those waters, I want you to start building relationships with other leaders in the business. Start getting exposure with other people and other teams and helping them grow. Don't worry about your boss. Let him or her do their own thing, do whatever they got to do. You focus on ensuring that your team is successful. Focus on ensuring that the other teams around you are successful. Start thinking about how do you become a force multiplier beyond just your team. All of these things contribute to building trust with your manager. And at the end of the day, that's going to be beneficial for you and your team. You know, I want to share a quick little story. That incompetent boss that I was telling you about, it was actually quite comical because he was the bane of my existence. I lost countless hours of sleep. Just beyond frustration. And when I had an annual review with him, his only feedback for me was, we have a great relationship. And I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive. All right, I hear some folks coming up the trail now, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Big thing, patience, making your boss look good, and start building trust. Start focusing on ensuring that you and your team are becoming successful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good one.